What's up, guys? Drock here, and you'll have to forgive me. I'm a little bit under the weather, so the energy is a little bit lower than normal today. But which is the worst possible timing because I move later this week, and then we're going to do a moving party on Wednesday this week before I head out for my last stream in this location. So hopefully I don't sneeze too much during this video, but something happened today that necessitated that I make a video that I talk about it. And at this point, you probably already know what it is because you looked at the thumbnail and clicked on this video, but it's the Fortis and Angar buffs, which were finally released after months of being teased. I think 3 or 4 months since they were first revealed back in that Cirilla conversation with Ash. And obviously the first champion rebalance in close to a year, which is insane to even think about. Like, even saying that right now for a game like this, for a gacha game that is predicated on having lots of champions and fighting them and battling with them, the fact that we're at almost a year between any kind of buff is just, well, frankly, it's asinine. But we'll get into that in a second. At this point, you guys have probably already seen what the buffs are. And all I can say is I am incredibly pissed. And frankly, I think everybody should be. Because realistically, what I look at this as is we were told one thing and sold one thing and given something completely different. But just to refresh your memories as to how bad these buffs are, well, first and foremost, Fortis, the only buff he got is damage increased. That's it. That's the only buff. Nothing to his kit, which is completely unusable in Arena, and the fact that he's supposed to be Arena champion. Not a single change to him after almost a year of people talking about how terrible he is. More than a year, actually, because he came out more than a year ago, I believe. And the only thing they did was increase his damage, which, by the way, takes 5 seconds to do by changing a number in his coding. I would know. I work in software development. Just what? How out of touch can you be? Are you kidding me? And then for Angar, who started off his life as kind of a PvP champion back in the day, like, they did a little bit more. They gave him the ability to possibly place a provoke debuff for 2 turns, increased his damage a bit, and maybe he can place a decreased attack debuff on whoever hits him on that provoke. Woo! Oh baby, I bet you're super excited to pull Angar and Fortis now, right? I mean, it's a weird position to be in, right? I love this game. I play this game a ton. I play this game at a high level. I've sunk an insane amount of money into this game, for better or worse. And the thing that I would expect Plarium to do is live up to what they themselves say. If you tell the community, both content creators and players and viewers and everything else, that you're going to buff and rework champions, and the reason why you haven't done it is because you've put all your assets into building stuff like Curse City, then to deliver a buff like this is an unbelievably disrespectful slap in the face of everyone that plays this game and everyone that has spent money on this game. It is no surprise that Raid has gotten incredibly stale from an Arena perspective in the last year for a lot of different reasons that I talk about all the time, from Polymorph to Taurus and Marichka to UDK, to the fact that half the champions aren't even usable anymore, to the fact that the other half need insane balances and what other stuff. Like, I've just never seen a development studio refuse to do what they're supposed to do, which is balance the game. I'm not expecting every single champion to be good, by the way. That is not my expectation whatsoever, or not even good, but to be OP or meta. But I absolutely do expect every Void champion to be useful and genuinely at least solid to good. This buff has changed nothing for Fortis. Think about the current meta with Stone Skin, with Polymorph. He does nothing. He is just as unusable as he was before because they have not changed a single element of his kit, which is the thing that everybody knows is the problem with this champion. And look, I don't want to be negative, but I hate it because I have to be honest. And the reality is this is just lazy. It's just lazy, and an absolute just disrespect for the people that keep this business alive and spend money on this game, and even the people that just play it in general. We have got to do better here, Plarium. This is not acceptable. Telling people that you can't change these champions because you're too busy, and then delivering a buff that literally would have taken less than an hour to code. That's, by the way, that's reality, guys. This change for Fortis, 5 seconds. Literally changing a number. That's it. And we had to wait a year for this? I mean, I'm outraged. I'm absolutely outraged. And frankly, everybody in this community should be as well, because this is not acceptable game development. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that really chaps my ass, is that Plarium is capable of balancing champs and doing it really well. They've done it in the past. They've done it multiple times in the past. Want to know how I know? Well, let's go take a look at some of the champions that they've balanced in the past. I don't know. How about, where is he? Cantrafon. This champion was terrible. This champion was useless. But they actually gave a shit and decided to fix it and make him viable. Now, is he the most powerful champion in the game nowadays with all the things that have changed? No. But is he usable? Is he good? Yes, he is. Let's look at another example. I'm just going to go through them here, because frankly, it's just gotten to be an absolute joke. And it's like, it's just so frustrating to be told that they're going to be real changes, and then to get delivered this, and only 2 champions, mind you. 2 champions out of the 800 plus in the game, 2 champions in the course of basically a year, and this is the buff that you deliver. Come on. You guys are better than this. You are more talented than this. You created a game that has generated asinine amounts of money, right? I get it. You guys are making money hand over fist. Well, don't you want that to continue? Don't you want people to still be excited about the game and want to pick it up and be happy instead of pissed if they pull these champions? Or at least have something to look forward to from a changing meta? People spend more money if the game is more interesting. Players stay if the game is more interesting. And if changes are actually made, which right now they're not being. And it's just infuriating, because I know that they are capable of more. Another great example, Mashald. I didn't even play the game when this guy was known as a Vault Lord, right? He was apparently horrendous. When I started the game, he was really damn good. And you know why? Because Plarium actually cared enough to go back and rework him. They completely changed his kit. They made him viable. He's still useful today. Now, again, is he top tier? Is he god tier like he used to be? Are you going to see him in the high level arena stuff like you do Taurus and Marichka? Probably not. But he's still at least good. And he's not even a void. Like, come on, man. Come on. There are countless champions that could fit this narrative, right? Another one would be our boy Dracomorph. Again, another champion that was bad until Plarium did their job and balanced him. I cannot for the life of me fathom why balancing champions and making the community happy and giving easy wins is so frowned upon now, when it used to be a core part of the raid experience. And I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that you guys would make less money if you balance champions regularly and if you balance them well. People would pull for these champions. People would pull these champs out of the vault and try to +1 them or +2 them. Like, you're still gonna make money. In fact, you're gonna make more money, because you're gonna keep people in the ecosystem and have them be excited and not feel like they've been duped. Because that's how I feel. And that's how I think everybody in this community should feel, is completely and utterly duped. There is zero excuse after close to a year to deliver something like what was delivered today and to blame it on not having enough bandwidth. Guys, come on. We're not stupid, okay? The raid community is part of what makes this game so exciting and fun, is the people that play it. We are not dumb. You cannot sit here and tell us that this is good enough. It's not. So I'm begging you, Plarium, please take this as constructive criticism and as an ode to what you guys used to do, because you used to be exceptional at doing this stuff, at balancing champions, at making them better. And for whatever reason, over the last 2 years, it has just declined more and more and more. And I get it. You're in profit mode. You've said that in your investor documents. You want to make your money. That's fine. I don't begrudge you that. God knows everybody is pulling shards, I'm sure, at a high rate, though I would imagine not quite as high as in their heyday. Who knows? I don't have the data, so I can't really know for sure. But what I can say is that people that are excited by a game stick around. People that are happy with a game stick around. Development teams that make changes to the meta keep the game fresh and give players a reason to stick around. And doing stuff like Centranos is not enough. It's not even close to enough. You guys need to have a team of 2 or 3 developers that go through and rebalance a minimum of 5 champions every single month. That is bare minimum. That is almost, again, like, and real balances, real reworks, not this kind of stuff. Because if this is what you're going to deliver, there are so many champions that have an okay kit and that just need a damage multiplier buff. I can think of one off the top of my head that you just released that's literally terrible and that everyone hates. That's right. It's the Monster Hunter champ. It's Vitalis Blademaster. And I've given feedback multiple times and have never gotten any kind of response about, hey, can we actually make this champion usable? He doesn't do any damage. If you're going to do these kind of buffs, buff him. Give him real damage. Make him actually usable in Platinum Arena or even in Gold 5. Because frankly, you're not even going to pull this guy out in that. He's going to sit in the vault and you're going to feel like you got scammed as a player. Because I certainly do. I have to keep it real, guys. You know what I mean? I have to be honest about this. And again, I'm sick. I'm making this video because I am passionate about this game. I'm making this video because this kind of stuff needs to be called out. We got to celebrate Plarium's wins, right? Like the redoing the Ascension system. And we have to call out stuff like this because I know for a fact, whether it's content creators or the community, nobody is happy about this. This is not good enough. It's not acceptable. Plarium, to borrow a line from Joey Swole, do better. Okay? Please do better. There are so many champs in this game. I know you can't rebalance every single one, and I know all of them can't be meta OP, but please make changes to keep the game alive, to keep people excited, and from your perspective, to keep people spending their hard-earned money on pulling shards and soul stones so that the game can live on and everybody makes a ton of money and your investors do well. That's pretty much it, guys. Sorry again that it's negative, but it's just like I truly am so just frankly disgusted that this is what constitutes a rebalance or a buff after waiting a year. And the other part of why, and I'm just to finish this because it just popped in my head, is I have no faith now that other mechanics of the game, whether it's polymorph, which has ruined Arena and made it an absolute disaster for the highest spenders in the game, and will continue to ruin Arena as people get more and more 6-star blessings, even low spenders or free-to-play players, so it's coming for you guys too. But polymorph, which has been talked about for a rebalance for 6 months, now I know for a fact it's not going to be fixed correctly. I was pretty certain. Now I'm basically positive. Because if this is the kind of rebalance effort that's put into just doing a champion, God knows what's going to happen with blessings. This year needs to be the year of quality of life, guys. This needs to be the year of improving stuff. If you want to deliver more content, do it later in the year. Please just make the game better from a day-to-day perspective. Every content creator has made videos on what you can do, and some of them are as easy as changing damage values on stuff like Vitalis because his kit is already ready to go, or a little bit harder like actually reworking Fortis, or this probably wouldn't be that hard, but maybe making the market actually useful. I mean, I could go on, but again, everybody's made videos about this. I'm begging you, Plarium, listen to your content creators and listen to your community, because we deserve better. That's it. Hope y'all have a good day, and I hope I feel better. But the big thing I really hope is that I get some type of update in the next week where Plarium says, you know what, our bad. Kind of like what happened with Mythical Shards. We know this isn't good enough, and we know we can do better, because they can, because I've seen their talent, and so have you. All right, have a good one. Catch you later, boys.